Hey everyone, it's Jack from Cultaholic.com, back once again with another monumental news update. We have three big pieces of news. The first regarding Daniel Bryan, who is reportedly not going to Saudi Arabia, but if not, then who's going to face AJ Styles for the WWE Championship? Secondly, a huge champion versus champion match has been announced for Survivor Series, but did it begin in the way it was originally planned to, or have WWE had to change things on the fly? And finally as well, in the aftermath of Evolution, apparently a certain NXT superstar was seen on crutches, but who is the superstar in question and how serious is the potential injury? Let's take a look and let's waste no further time as we look at all of the news. So PW Insider today have seemingly confirmed that Daniel Bryan will not be heading to Saudi Arabia. This was first reported by Robbie Fox of Barstool Sports and has then apparently been confirmed by several of PW Insider's sources. This comes after last night John Cena was officially written out of the show, being replaced in the World Cup tournament by Bobby Lashley on Monday Night Raw. Now, with Bryan seemingly also out of the picture, the question remains what's going to happen tonight on SmackDown to write him out of the storyline. On WWE.com, Bryan is scheduled for a confrontation, and not a match, but an in-ring face-to-face kind of promo thing with AJ Styles, and I assume that he's going to be ambushed by someone who'll beat him down and then take his place in the match, or ambushed by someone and then Paige will book another person to face AJ Styles, or something along those lines, something to get Bryan out of the picture without mentioning the real-life sort of situation at hand. But the question is who? PW Insider have again floated a name around. They seem to think, for some reason, didn't mean to sound condescending there, that Rusev is the man for the job. I can see why it makes sense. He doesn't really have much going on at the minute from what we've seen on SmackDown, having apparently just seen off Aiden English once and for all after English turned on Rusev and Lana. So now Rusev doesn't really have someone to feud with. Maybe he could just be hot-shotted into the title picture. Then again, I think a point against that in my mind is the fact that I think it was only in July, whenever Extreme Rules was, Rusev did have a match with AJ Styles then and was cleanly beaten in the title match there. So I'm not entirely certain what's going to happen, but I wouldn't be really surprised if they just shoved Rusev in the match, because with build being changed around and stuff on the fly this soon before the show, I don't think WWE really care by this point. I think they'd honestly just go, right, who can we throw in the title match? Rusev, he had a match with him in July, doesn't matter, get him in there anyway. But we'll see what happens on SmackDown tonight. Maybe that will clear things up. Hopefully it will, because the show is literally only on Friday. It's only a few days away. Now, also talking of SmackDown, the SmackDown Women's Champion Becky Lynch has been confirmed for a mammoth champion versus champion showdown with the Raw Women's Champion Ronda Rousey at Survivor Series. But it's been a bit of a confusing time on the old internet, because everyone's been arguing about how this feud was meant to start. Obviously there was a segment taped after Evolution, which was then aired on Raw last night and also on like WWE's YouTube and that sort of thing, where Becky Lynch and Ronda Rousey sort of confront one another. They don't come to blows, but they go, oh, I'll see you soon, and then they sort of walk away from each other, and it's all like, oh, this match is going to happen, and then it was officially announced. But there's been rumours apparently that Becky Lynch was actually meant to beat down Ronda Rousey at the end of Evolution. Then those rumours have been rumour killed online, but having inspected the whole thing, I think it might be true. So if you excuse me, I do have to use my notes for this, but various websites were reporting that apparently Becky Lynch was meant to beat down Ronda Rousey after Evolution, when Ronda was celebrating and all the women were there and stuff. WWE then released an announcement for, the Survivor Series match between Becky and Ronda, and in the description of that, it sort of described an event that had never happened. It was about Becky Lynch beating down Ronda Rousey seconds after they'd stood next to each other during Ronda's title celebration. Obviously, that never took place. Now, a site has come out and said that's not true. We've talked to our WWE sources, that's Ringside News, who've said that it was never the plan and that it unfolded exactly how WWE originally planned. But I want to say that, what are your sources telling you, Ringside News? Because that description seems to suggest that there was an original plan in place that then got adapted a lot so that Becky never actually came to blows with Ronda. In my mind, this is how that whole thing went. So Ringside News rang up their boys, their sources in WWE, and went, all right guys, any truth to these rumours that Becky Lynch was meant to beat up Ronda Rousey at the end of Evolution? And the sources have gone, no, that's not true at all, lads. And Ringside News have gone, okay, bang, phone down. It just seems to me so strange that that whole description was written on WWE.com, which has now been taken down, about an event that never happened, and this whole rumour killer thing has basically not addressed that at all and just gone, no, it went the way that WWE wanted it to. I think there might be some truth to it. I think that Becky Lynch may have been supposed to beat up Ronda Rousey after Evolution, and then they may have thought, we don't want Ronda to look too weak, we don't want to maybe make it look too obvious that Ronda's going to get a revenge or something like that, one of those sort of reasons. But it's a confusing and strange situation. and one that I guess we'll never really find out the whole truth to unless someone comes out much later and just goes, this is what was meant to happen. And finally, on Wrestling Observer Radio, Dave Meltzer has said that Shayna Baszler was spotted with crutches after Evolution, but he does have slightly positive news for fans of the new NXT Women's Champion. She apparently sustained a bit of an injury in her match with Kairi Sane where she won the championship back for the second time, but Meltzer reckons that this was just a precaution and that actually Shayna is not expected to miss much time away from the ring at all, if any time away from the ring at all. So it certainly doesn't look like she's going to be vacating the belt that she's just won or anything like that. It just apparently was just to be careful, just a little bit of a precaution, and honestly, I'm all for that. So thank you very much for watching this news update. I've been Jack from Cultaholic.com. You can follow me if you want on Twitter at JackTheJobber. You can follow all of us at Cultaholic, and check out our Patreon too, patreon.com/Cultaholic. And never forget, obviously, to join us.